Imagine this. Eastern Front, winter 1943. Two German divisions hold the same sector of the line. Same enemy in front of them. Same war. One is Wehrmacht, professional soldiers. The other is Waffen-SS, political soldiers. They share a trench line. They share rations. They share the same freezing mud. And they despise each other. Not quietly, not behind closed doors. This wasn't a minor rivalry. It was a deep, institutional hatred that ran through the heart of the Third Reich. Wehrmacht officers wrote formal complaints accusing SS commanders of wasting German lives in reckless attacks. SS officers called the army cowards who lacked ideological conviction. They believed the Wehrmacht was holding back the revolution, while the army saw the SS as dangerous amateurs. This wasn't a Cold War inside the Third Reich. It was an open, documented institutional civil war, fought with requisition forms, ignored orders, and precious resources withheld from those who needed them most. It was a war of papers and pride that cost real lives. It was a war fought with 73 tanks held back, while 356 were given to the other side. And it cost Germany the war more than most people realize. Today, we open the archive on the Wehrmacht versus the SS. This is the Iron Archive. To understand why they hated each other, you have to understand what each organization actually was. Because they were not the same army with different uniforms. They were two completely separate rival systems with zero trust and different masters. Part 1. Two armies, one flag. To the outside world, they looked like a single military machine. But inside, they were two distinct worlds with different masters and different goals. One based on tradition, the other on ideology. The Wehrmacht was the legitimate German armed forces. It traced its lineage back to the Prussian army of the 19th century, the world of Clausewitz and Moltke. It was built on tradition, professional military academies, and a career officer corps. It was led by career officers, many from noble families who spent years in military academies. Their chain of command answered, at least on paper, to the German state and its laws. They saw themselves as the professionals, the experts in the craft of war. The Waffen-SS was something else entirely. It didn't answer to the German state. It was the armed wing of the Nazi Party, answering directly to Heinrich Himmler and his visions of a racial empire. These were political soldiers, first and foremost. While Wehrmacht recruits swore an oath to the country, the SS swore a personal oath to Adolf Hitler. They weren't fighting for Germany, they were fighting for the National Socialist cause. This personal loyalty made them a law unto themselves on the battlefield. Here's what most people miss. They had completely separate chains of command, separate supply systems, separate promotion tracks, even separate systems of military justice. They were two parallel universes that only met at the very top. A Wehrmacht general could not give direct orders to an SS division operating in his sector without going through SS channels. This created a nightmare of coordination. An SS commander could refuse orders he deemed ideologically insufficient. The logistical divide was even worse. An SS commander could requisition equipment directly from SS logistics, while the Wehrmacht division next to him starved for the same supplies. Competition replaced cooperation, even when the enemy was at the gate. Two armies, one flag, zero trust. And that was by design. Hitler wanted it that way. He believed that by keeping his generals fighting each other, they would never unite against him. But when you build rivalry into your military, the system eventually eats itself. That was the beginning of the systemic paralysis. In the next chapter, we will see how this rivalry moved to the battlefield of resources. Join me in Chapter 2, The Resource War. Iron Archive. Subscribe now for the next chapter. Archive session closed.